All right, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to Cosmic Origins, to the Cosmic Download. We've got a special guest on the show today. Please welcome Zen God. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm excited to be on tonight. Thank you for letting me on your platform.
Yeah, of course, dude. I discovered you personally a few days ago, like less than a week ago, and I saw your channel and I was just like, man, you're like literally the only other person I know besides myself, which is connecting the esoteric XRP content to the 17 stuff and other like spiritual and disclosure aspects. Like it's, there's people on YouTube that talk about individual portions of those things connected, but to have the whole package and bring it all together is like really unique and a really important message. So that like instantly drew me to your stuff, and I like binged your most 10 most recent videos, and I was like, yeah, I need to have this dude on.
Yeah, well, just a combination of just years and years of research and then like everything coming together. But I mean, I think the truth of it is there's a lot of us out there. Just uh, anybody bringing forward all the information, they're constantly getting banned. I've been banned so many times. I had to literally get a new phone just to start making social media accounts again. So a lot of the people bringing this information, because obviously they don't want people to know about this. It's pretty obvious now. They're getting banned. They're getting deplatformed. And many times because I've been banned, I had up to like 17,000 followers. I was super proud
Dang.
of that account. But
Where was
many other
that?
times,
What
that
platform?
was on Instagram.
Nice.
So I've had many different accounts, and then getting banned. Well, number one, getting your rights violated just it hurts a lot more than you could imagine. Then it almost makes you kind of feel like you don't even want to keep doing it anymore. Like why start from scratch? And so it's been a so that's one of the reasons why there's not as many of us like putting this information, I think. But it's weird because the people that are putting this information out, it's like we're magnets for each other, and we're all kind of like so many people have found my YouTube, and I just made it like 4 weeks ago, and I literally just turn the camera on, push record, and then put it out there. I don't even think about it. But so many people have found my account with the same mindset, the same similarities, like you just mentioned. It's uh, it's mind blowing. It goes into the whole. I was watching a little bit of your videos too, and you talk about collective consciousness and everything, and how everything's becoming more synchronized. So I think that's part of it.
Yeah, nice. And I give you props for persisting on social media. I've been banned across Facebook and most of Instagram and Twitter. And for Facebook and Twitter, I was like, I don't think I can go back. Like I was just like, personally, I was like, I feel like my fight is over. I'm gonna move my battleground to the other ones that I'm still on. But I tried for a couple times with Facebook. I made like three other pages after they took out my main personal one, and then they start tracking like your IP and stuff, and like you said, you have to get
Yeah.
another phone number, which is just wild that like to even express our free speech we have to go to these lengths of like, you know, changing personal aspects of our lives, and it's really ridiculous. But yeah, I give you props for continuing that fight. It's a good fight.
Yeah, and through this fight, like same thing as you, I was like, okay, someone else could fight this fight for me now. Like my time has been done, but then something always pulls me back. Like I mentioned, we were talking offline how people right now want to kind of talk crap on us 17 followers, but to me, like I've been telling you, like I've been a part of this well before 17 ever existed. So this is just what I've been doing since as far as I can remember, try to expose the DS
Yeah.
and do my part. So whether it exists or not exists, I'm going to be here fighting on the battlefield. So it's just part of who I am. It's part of my nature. I wanted to add on something else, kind of forgot, but yeah, this is what I want to bring up. So part of this whole experiencing this censorship is just continuously maybe more and more bullish on digital assets. So part of my journey with these accounts and talking about it, I don't want to be a hypocrite or like say something that I'm not doing. So anyone that's following my pages know I'm being 100% transparent and I'm actually living what I'm teaching. So through this whole process of being censored so much, that's really what got me to pull the trigger on going just all in. So I don't even have a traditional bank account anymore
Nice.
because like I'm worried. Like I'm 100% confident that we're living through a movie, and we're entering the golden age and Missouri, everything. We'll talk about that later. But even if there's a 1% chance that the Great Reset wins or whatever, which I don't believe it is, man, if they're deleting my social media accounts and all this, next thing they're going to check my history and delete my bank account. So that's when
Yep.
I moved all my assets into precious metals, gold, silver, because they can't take that away from me unless they show up to my house. I have guns. And then also the decentralized like XRP, Algorand, these technologies uh, cannot be censored. So that's one of the biggest things. So like there is like learnings and opportunities in all this BS that's happening right now. So we're shifting into a new paradigm, and it's gotta get really bad before it gets good. You know,
Yeah,
that's what I think.
definitely. I really liked your video about David Schwartz, who, for if you guys don't know, is the primary architect, co-creator of the XRP ledger, the technology behind XRP itself. I'm pretty sure it was in that video of yours where you showed an interview where he was discussing how one of his primary inspirations for creating XRP and that kind of distributed ledger technology, even before cryptocurrency was a thing, he had that kind of patented. That his inspiration came from the fact that he was personally already getting attacked by these systems, and that he had had a lifetime ban on PayPal, and that like he had some vacation where he ended up having to borrow money from someone because the only way that he could like pay this thing on this vacation was through PayPal, and he didn't have it. And so he was saying he wanted to develop like a technology so that the banks couldn't declare people like risks or terrorists or whatever, because they don't have to follow standard law, and which is really it's happening to like tons of people, like content creators like us are getting their PayPal's taken away, and in more extreme cases their banks. I don't know, did you have your bank stripped, or did you voluntarily step away from your bank account?
Well, like I said, just because of everything I was experiencing with the censorship and also just um, kind of where I was seeing how the world was going, I made that decision to just go all in on precious metals and these assets that can't be censored, because I just believe that's the way it's going, and I believe it's the safest option for me. And yeah, so David Schwartz, if you look at his Twitter account recently, he kind of plays the role of a liberal. But a lot of
Yep.
people don't know that if you actually go back in his past, hardcore libertarian,
Yeah.
hardcore. Roger Ver, everyone talks about it. Very that's where his belief comes, and he was banned from PayPal, and he couldn't have access to his funds, so he went and created his own. But that guy is a whole rabbit hole in himself. That's kind of one of the reasons why I got into XRP, because
Yeah.
as a critical thinker, there's no more fun rabbit hole to go down than you give me a rabbit hole, I'm going to go down it. But I've been able to make a video every single day, and I'm not even close to being done, because I don't know any other asset that you could do so much content for. And you could pick out Chris Larson, you could pick out Christine Lagarde, you could pick out Peter Thiel, you could pick out David Schwartz, and literally dive deep, deep. Like, for example, uh, you brought it up in one of your videos. If a lot of your followers probably know, he's an NSA agent.
Mm-hmm.
We know that part of the 17 movement came from the Admiral, I think Roger, I think his name is
Right. Mike Rogers.
Mike Rogers. So he came from the NSA. So there are
Yep.
white hats there. And then even going farther back, so when a lot of people in the XRP community reference that 33, no, the Phoenix on the magazine of the Economist, and it shows the Phoenix, it shows the Stellar logo, and it
Yep.
shows get ready for a new world currency. A few months after that article came out, David Schwartz in like 1988 had a patent for the distributed ledger technology. So he's obviously the first person that had his mind around. That's why I believe he's probably one of the Satoshi people. Brad Garlinghouse has a video where he says Satoshi is probably a group of 1 to 3 people,
Y-
and
Yeah, it was a
and
great video.
1 to 3 people is I think I mess up sometimes when I just do everything free flow. But David Schwartz, Jed McCaleb, and Arthur Brito, who you never hear about. And I think that's the reason why on the lawsuit they don't name these people by name. They name them cryptographer 1, cryptographer 2. Arthur Brito and David Schwartz, because they're protected, like they're NSA assets. And when you really get down to it, that's probably why there's no more. You don't hear about any investigations into Bitcoin. You don't hear about any people searching, trying to find Satoshi. It's $1 trillion asset supposedly, but no one cares about who created it. That's really what got me into this. I was like, let me figure out how this, like what Bitcoin is, and then it led me to XRP. So it's crazy.
Can you tell us who Arthur Brito is?
The thing about Arthur Brito is there's not much you can find about him online. I think a few people have a pictures of
I
him,
actually
but
don't even know who he is, so I'm sincerely
yeah,
asking. I've heard you say his name, but I'm not familiar with him.
yeah, he's a ghost. He's a ghost. And here's another connection to him and Satoshi. So Satoshi has never touched his Bitcoin wallet, right? So when the founders of XRP came together, they all were able to claim XRP. We later find out that even me or you, if we knew about XRP, we could have claimed some XRP for free. But at the time, the founders all kind of took some XRP for themselves. Chris Larson, uh, Jed's still dumping his XRP to this day. I believe he's under NDA to kind of
Mm.
suppress the price. Brad got some XRP. David got XRP. I don't know if David got it, but Arthur got, I think, 2 billion XRP, and he's never touched them. They've been sitting in his wallet, never touched them, just like Satoshi's never touched them.
Hmm.
So
Interesting.
he's a genius. Uh, what's the science called? Like physicist?
Physicist?
I think it's physicist. He's like a physicist. Arthur Brito, a mathematician, super genius guy.
Huh.
He helped create XRP. Now he's over at PolySign, which is another
Ah.
super secret project. He's helping create PolySign now. So they're literally just, there's like a chosen team, and they're literally going from project to project. Like Jed McCaleb kind of started making Bitcoin easy to the public with Mt. Gox. He left there, created Ripple, Stellar, and it's been the same team. And then Arthur Brito left Ripple to go start PolySign with David Schwartz. A lot of people
Oh,
have,
David
have
Schwartz is on PolySign too?
yeah, they're both on PolySign.
Oh my gosh.
So David Schwartz and Arthur Brito worked on Bitcoin, I believe. And then they moved to XRP, and Satoshi has a written things talking about like how Ripple is actually a good project. And then they leave and go make PolySign. I think PolySign is their plan for mass adoption. Like PolySign is going to help these like IMF and these organizations custody.
Hmm.
I don't know much about it. I've been promising a PolySign video, but I don't know enough to be confident in making a video. I haven't gone that far deep into it. But
Right.
PolySign is going to be big, and if you ask any of these guys about it, if you ask David Schwartz about it, they'll literally tell you, "Hey, I cannot talk to you about it. I'm under NDA. It's really cool, but I can't talk about it." So there's not much we know about it. We're just trying to put together the pieces.
Yeah. So personally, does that make you nervous for where XRP might go? Because I know there's a lot of people now that are, there's a lot of like FUD going around XRP and potentially like another more advanced project replacing it, and XRP being the kind of smokescreen that was for the battle, but not maybe the solution. I have my personal, I go back and forth on that, but I'm curious what you think.
Yeah, so I never get caught in dogma. I always think about all the different scenarios, even with 17. What happens if 17? Like I think about all the different, and then I go with what makes most sense, what my intuition tells me. And I have thought about, okay, what if XRP is like a LARP within a LARP within a LARP, and it's really just fooling us deep diggers. But that's exactly why I've chosen to really just focus on one industry in the crypto space. So there's tons of amazing projects, but my strategy is I'm only focusing. I do have a lot, but right now I'm mainly focusing on the payment infrastructure coins. So I'm really big on XLM, XDC, XRP. They all have the X in front of it, supranational currency. So I'm placing my bets in all three of them. If XRP isn't what I think it is, then it's XLM. If XLM isn't what I think it is, then it's XDC. So it's either one of those three, I think. But
Yeah.
I think it's going to be all three of them, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because what happens is we get caught in this echo chamber of XRP fans. And it seems like there's tons of us. It seems like there's so many of us XRP holders when you go online. But in reality, I checked, even with the bull market happening right now, there's only 2.4 million XRP accounts. I have 6 accounts. Most people that are been in the game have a lot of XRP
That's a
accounts.
very good point.
So in reality, there isn't that many of us. So like, if a million of us end up getting rich off this shit, I mean, will the powers that be, like, there's nothing really they could do about it at that point. But that's why people like Mr. Poole and these insiders have been giving us this information to kind of flip it. Because I believe one timeline, I don't know if I'm going all over the place,
No, this is
but
perfect segue. Mr. Poole is what I wanted to bring up next, so that's great.
okay. Yeah, so like Mr. Poole, if you decode some of his older posts, he talks about it can't be a secret anymore. The public are going to learn. So I believe in a timeline that we've changed, XRP was keeping a huge secret from the people, and pretty much only the people in the know, the dark people, had access to it.
Mm-hmm.
I had a video. I kind of, a lot of times I come up with ideas on live streams. So it's kind of like, that there's that upside down pyramid on top
On top of what?
of the XRP. There's a pyramid and there's
Oh,
another
right.
pyramid on top.
Right.
So like, we're kind of just, we're helping create a level playing field, us XRP holders, and there's an upside down pyramid because now we're creating a new pyramid that's the opposite of the old one. I have to have a picture of it, but
Yeah, that's interesting. I think I've heard people, you or someone else, mention the pyramid before, but I've not looked at it and clicked in my brain. But I constantly refer to XRP as flipping the pyramid upside down and creating the new 1%. So that's really fascinating.
yeah, so it's like this is the top of the X. Every time they don't want us to buy, but every time us normal people are buying it, it's kind of like we're filling in this and creating a new
Mm-hmm.
1% of the pyramid. And then the other pyramids like this, but if you notice on the pyramid on the dollar, they have the top. They have the top with the eye. That part on the XRP ledger has been cut off. It's kind of rounded. They
Right.
level the playing field out. And
Interesting.
what we've always known about, a lot of people have been pointing the blame at the 1%. It's never been the 1% that have been the problem. It's the 0.0001%. So
Mm-hmm.
cutting off that top is very significant and is going to be world changing. Like we've been seeing in all these places, uh, these central bankers like in Myanmar got kicked out, different things like that. So they are getting cut off. One of the princes is in the hospital right now. So like they're in bad shape, and we're creating a new 1%, a new level playing field. And I believe that's why us people, we're kind of like divinely guided to it,
Yeah.
because um, there's a lot we could go into. But
It's
you
like
wanted to know more about
creating.
Mr. Poole, right?
Yeah, yeah, but well, real quick, it's to touch on what you're saying. It's like creating the new 1% by vetting them through their emotional intelligence and their spiritual connection and their intuition, right? Because
And
it's like
logic too.
and
Logic
logic,
too.
yeah. It's like all the people that are in XRP are also faith driven mainly. It's like they have faith in this currency despite what the MSM and the DS and all those other groups are saying. There's like a faith. And to me, faith is a big part of what the 17 program was also trying to instill and like kind of program in people, faith in the divine and in yourself, really. And to me, it makes perfect sense that it's like another kind of form of the same compartmentalized operations that are taking place in different sectors, and this being the financial one. So you had mentioned earlier Jed McCaleb and how he is, people say artificially suppressing the price. So can you explain to people like why they would be artificially suppressing the price? What the purpose of that is in your
Well,
opinion?
there's a million purposes, but I wanted to piggyback on something you just said about let me go back on what you
Mm,
just said about the whole 17 and XRP connection, because yeah, there's nobody that can have more blind faith than someone who still believes in 45 coming back right now, and people that believe XRP. Like I did a whole video about this. Right now with like when GameStop was going to the moon and everything was going, all this dumb shit was going to the moon, while XRP, which I believe is the greatest investment opportunity in this generation, looked like the worst investment ever. So it's kind of like, do you have, and that's why I bought this hat, because when I first was getting into XRP, like people talk so much shit, like almost like they took it personal, like you're against everything crypto stands for by owning Ripple, personal attacks. You have a centralized shit coin, and that's another reason what drove me to it. Like the hate was so insane, so most people will want to be a part of the herd and join them. Me, I did the opposite. I bought a hat just to tell them "fuck you" and be like, dude, I don't like what I like.
Yeah.
So that's the big difference. That's part of the vetting that you're mentioning. Like, can you actually hold true to like real values, like real shit? So that's a whole process of back to what was your question about? Okay, Jed McCaleb.
Yeah,
Jed
the artificial
McCaleb,
price suppression. Like what I'm getting at
number
is
one
kind of
is
how
to
would that help the people in a way? But go ahead, go ahead.
it's a blessing and a curse. So many people buy XRP and they're like, next week I want it to moon. If you really had a long-term vision, you actually want it to stay suppressed. You want it to stay low, because if you really believe in it and you know 3 years from now, 2 years from now, this is going to be the staple of the new financial system, you want to have as much of it as you possibly can. But a lot of people look at it as a bad thing, which it is, because what happens is every time the price starts to rise, it's kind of like someone picks up the phone, is like, code red, code red. They've shut down exchanges. They've dumped millions. I think Jed McHale the past week dumped like 70 million XRP to drop the price down. One of the reasons is we don't have regulatory clarity for this asset like Ethereum and Bitcoin. So in the United States, these companies want it, they're salivating for it, but they really can't get their hands on it in a legal way. So we have to wait till there's clarity before we flip the switch on the price. So there's been so many glitches with XRP. Like so many people have posted the glitches.
I saw one myself, and that really proved it to me. That was like a major synchro. I saw it go to 6,000 once, and I was like, "Ooh, that's exciting."
Yeah, so glitches are real. It's not like so the glitches are a glimpse of the real value at this thing, and they're keeping it priced down, just like they're keeping silver. Silver should be $100-$200 right now. The real shit they're manipulating, and they're holding it down.
So do you
A lot
think
of people go ahead.
do you think the primary intention of the manipulation is, say, like a white hat attempt to allow as many of the kind of common person to get in on this opportunity before it's too late, or do you think it's primarily for a different reason?
You know, that's a good this is just speculation right here, because I don't have the answer, but from my research into Mr. Pool, that kind of is what like the Mr. Pool project is to me, is to get this information out to as many patriots as it can to give people an opportunity, because us as XRP holders, we are kind of betting on the end of this current system we're in. So when the flip does get switched, it is going to be bad for a lot of people that haven't been paying attention, that haven't been awake. So Mr. Pool, and I believe that's the delay of this whole lawsuit and all this stuff, is to give more people an opportunity to get their bags full.
Dude, it was a huge blessing for me. I know. I'm like so grateful. I was able to more than triple my holdings because of the lawsuit. And
yes, so we were up to like 70
blessing.
cents. We were up to 70 cents, and Mr. Pool posted some Christmas photos. Like it's supposed to be like you're getting this gift, and a lot of people thought, okay, we're gonna moon on Christmas.
Everyone got so excited.
Yeah, it ended up being the opposite. So XRP went all the way back down to 17 cents. Now most people go, okay, that's like
17.
they sold their bags, they dumped it, they gave up. But us people that really believe, like you mentioned, the faith, the vetting part, we bought more, and we were able to get in at one of the best deals all year. And like you said, you tripled your holdings. So yeah, it's definitely, they're trying to get this out to many people. That's why you have these projects like Mr. Pool, Bearable Guy, and David Schwartz. I mean, Schwartz, his last name, obviously he's Jewish, so he uses gematria and a lot of his, and he has all these codes as well. So one of his posts I read, he said, if you type the gematria into it, I forgot exactly what it was, but it says, "I have hidden everything in plain sight." I believe David Schwartz has something to do with Mr. Poole, and he's definitely a bearable guy.
Oh, you
So,
think David is bearable guy, not Brad?
yeah, it's probably David, and then Brad is kind of like the front man for it.
Okay. Yeah, I know a lot of. I had heard that people thought it was Brad because of the BG and Brad
Yeah,
Garlinghouse, but it would be a good like kind of cover to actually do it
Brad
from
is
David.
Brad is the knight, I believe. He's the knight in it. So he's the knight
Right.
that puts on the armor that goes and infiltrates these banks and these central bankers to get them to sign over to the new quantum financial system. So he's like an infiltrator. I believe he's a white hat as well, and he's a really likable guy. So he's great for the job.
So, for the people watching this, if you want to know a little bit more what we're talking about, these accounts are, to my knowledge, exclusively on Twitter. Is that right? Or do you know, are there any official accounts anywhere besides Twitter?
So Mr. Poole is really interesting. He's only on Twitter. He almost got suspended once, but what he does is you'll see a bunch of posts that he has that he left up, but you have to turn your notifications on for Mr. Poole. Ever since 17 went quiet, Poole has been posting a ton, and one of the 17 posts it says follow the loop. If we think in mirrors, loop is Poole, so you have to follow Poole.
Mm-hmm.
And anyways, going back, so what Mr. Poole does is he speaks in pictures. It could be quantum AI, it could be some looking glass technology. I don't really know. I just know after following him, and I kept this information to myself for a long time because it's really, especially if you're talking to normal people, you sound certifiably insane talking about this shit. But after so many proofs of Mr. Poole posting something and then it happening, he just posted about don't drink tap water, like a video about don't like tap water hazardous. A few days later, the Texas parasite water thing happens. That's happened more times than I can count.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, so he posts in pictures, and then what he does is he instantly deletes it. He only has it up for a few seconds. Anons screenshot it, and then they share it. They post it on Twitter. So you have to type in like Mr. Poole on Twitter in the search bar, and you'll see all the Anons who are helping decode and decipher these pictures. And
I'm
go ahead.
I'm gonna see if I can pull it up for them right now. We'll still be able to hear each other, but on their screen, I'm gonna see if I can pull up Twitter so I can show them. I just saw a recent one on there that I hadn't seen before that looked like it was from February 8th. And it was like I'm pretty sure it was like a bust of a Greek figure. And did you see that one? You know what I'm talking about?
With the veil removing from his face. Is that?
Yeah, I think so. Pretty sure. Uh,
Yeah, Mr. Poole is really interesting. I have no idea who he is, what he. I think it's David Schwartz. Like it's either David Schwartz or it's maybe like a quantum computer that David Schwartz helped create because he has liked some of David's tweets. And then one of the big things, Mr. Poole also helped me make a lot of money. So he posted saying XDC could go to $1 to $5 within the next week. He liked
mm,
that tweet.
right.
Now I was like, I've been wanting to get XDC for a long time. It's less than a penny. It was like 0.007 or 0.008 when I got in. And then a week later, just like the tweet he likes, it went all the way up to 3 cents. I think almost 4 cents. So it went like 400%. And Mr. Poole had just kind of sent us those clues. So he's posted about XDC, but mainly it's about XRP.
Right.
XRP is kind of like the arc that people could have the choice to get on when this whole it's going to be kind of like the savior of when everything really crashes, I think.
I have the Mr. Poole page pulled up right now, and I'm looking at the Economist article that you were referring to earlier with the Phoenix on it that says "Get ready for a world currency."
And if you
And
go all the way down Mr. Poole to his very first post, he's showing proof that he has the Photoshop original shit for Bearable Guy, so they're connected.
Oh, dude, this is a weird synchro. This video that I have pulled up of the sun is in my intro. That's really trippy.
Yes, to me, it doesn't. All this stuff doesn't even surprise me anymore. I've had so many people like it's crazy. And one of Mr. Pool's tweets, he mentions about this whole synchronicity thing. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's wild. You were the first person that showed me that there was an XDC reference from Mr. Pool. I wasn't aware of that before, and I have another friend that has been trying to get me into XDC for probably like 2 months now, and I was like really diving deep into XRP and just didn't see the value in XDC. And because I wasn't really familiar with the interledger protocol and how all these X coins could really work together, like in an ecosystem. And so for the past couple of days, I've been kind of stressing, wondering if it's still worth it to get into XDC or if XRP is the better bet in this moment. What would you say for people out there that might be thinking about getting XDC versus XRP? What do you think is the better bet? And obviously, we aren't financial advisors, and
Yeah, yeah.
we don't have room to give actual advice. But what are you doing?
Well, so many people they ask, okay, what about this coin? What about this coin? What about this coin? They want to know about every single coin underneath the sun. I'm more of a narrow focus. So I believe focus on XRP. We know for sure XRP is going to be golden. So like if we fast forward 10 years from now and you know XRP like the chosen one, like you're going to wish you had way more of that than anything else.
Yep.
So make sure you have your XRP. I set goals. I talk about goals and like personal development stuff on my pages as well. So like my first goal was to hit 10K XRP, and then I hit that faster than I thought. Then I set another goal, then I set another goal, and I set another goal. Never really happy with how much I've had, but right now I'm finally in a place where I'm completely cozy with my XRP bag, so I'm focusing on other opportunities, seeing what else is out there, but just because it's fun. But really focus on the chosen ones first, and then move on to making a portfolio. I have like a Warren Buffett approach where it's like diversification isn't always the best, especially in something like digital assets.
Right. I saw those Warren Buffett clips that you posted. Those were really good. That's a good kind of mentality. Basically, his sentiment was that if you're really confident in your investments, you won't need to diversify into a million different things. You should be confident with the few that you're chosen.
Well, this all goes back to that whole vetting thing that you were talking about. Like we kind of look crazy right now. Like coins are all going up to all-time highs. I mean, we still have some nice gains, 3x gains if you got in around 20 cents. But every coin is mooning besides XRP right now. So like you really have to have a lot of research and faith behind what you're holding. You have to know what you hold. You have to actually be proud to own it. And the more research you do, the more confidence, the more faith you'll have, and you'll be fine watching Bitcoin hit 60,000 or 70,000, whatever it hits, because we know how the movie ends. Like right now, it looks like Sleepy Joe has all the power, but does he really? And if we know how the movie ends, like would we be putting bets in the Biden right now, or would we be putting our bets for what's to come? So that's what I'm completely patient. I don't know if you watched the Crypto Bear back in the day, 2 years ago. Crypto Bear posted about
No.
XRP is the XRP is the bamboo of digital assets. You heard of that?
Mm-mm. Tell me about it.
So we have to get out of this. Isn't a get rich quick scheme, and that's what people don't get sad when they find out. It takes a lot of hard work and questioning yourself. Like we were talking about shadow work, question like, am I doing the right thing? Things like that. Crypto Bear has a video talking about the boy who planted bamboo, and he would go out there, water the seeds, and I think it took like years or an extreme amount of time. I don't quote me on it. And the bamboo never ever grew for a long period of time. And he just would water it, look at it, kind of like how we are. We're looking at our Coinbase every morning. I wake up. That's the first thing I do. Let me check Coinbase.
Same.
So that's kind of like watering your plants. You're checking it. You're watering it. But the thing about bamboo is once it sprouts, So once the bull run starts, it goes up like like the fastest growing tree in the world. It grows like 6 feet like instantly, and that's what's going to happen to XRP. We haven't seen any real bull runs yet. People don't know what a bull run is until they see XRP run. All this bullshit we've seen of XRP hitting 80 cents or 70 cents, this is just getting people to like fuck with our psyche a little bit, and then also to make us lose hope and sell our bags for something else. So many people sold their bags for ADA and these other things. They
Or
think they're winning
Bitcoin.
now.
Ugh.
Yeah, or Bitcoin. They think they're winning now or tank. But when the bamboo sprouts, Mr. Poole has a post about the train leaving the station. You're gonna miss the train. You're gonna be sitting there with no train to get on. So uh, once XRP goes and the flip is switched, there's not going to be an opportunity for us to have this again. Like it's going to be over.
Yep.
That's I don't even remember how we started talking about this, but that's kind of like the approach I have. I'm watering my seeds and just waiting for the day that it finally explodes. And it keeps seeming like it's sooner and sooner, and I feel it. So I'm not. I'm just waiting for it all to go down.
Yeah, same. And even if this lawsuit, I don't want it to play out this long, but even if it plays out for like a couple years, that would teach us patience, especially in that way. But I really feel like it's going to be this year that significant things happen. And I feel like it's going to be timed with, we can get into like the QFS and Nasara Jasara and like all that kind of stuff and how this relates. Man, there was one thing in particular that I was and like Flare Networks and how Flare Networks connects to this kind of stuff, and 17, how that connects to Flare Networks. Have you looked into Flare much?
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you could keep us on topic because, yeah, if you could keep us on topic, that would be awesome. So Flare is incredible. It's going to change the entire world. So so we the people form of system. And if you watch the trailer, they're putting all the symbology in our face. JFK, they have the 17 logo, they have Trump in it. So
Wait,
it's
is he
obvious.
in it?
His name is in it. Yeah, you have to do it in slow motion, but there's
No
tons of
way.
clues in there. Yeah. So it's
Dang, I didn't even know
obvious.
that.
What I know about Flare is it's basically going to give XRP Ethereum like capabilities. It's going to make us pretty much our own institutions and banks. So like we'll be the new institutions, not the Roths or the whatever. These will be the institution. We'll be able to put our XRP into liquidity pools and pretty much loan them out to banks and institutions, and we'll be able to collect interest, passive interest off our tokens, off our XRP. I believe Trump wants us to get wealthy, so because uh, the world isn't set up right now, it's like a slave system. We are talking about this on the roundtable. How some people never are able to leave their hometown because they don't have the finances to do so. That's not how, like back in the day when we were on the gold standard, you'd have a chill job. You'll be able to afford a house, have a nice family. You could go on vacation. You could do a lot of things. But because of all this inflation and this crappy illegal banking, we've lost all that. So when we enter this golden age, uh, when we have this prosperity, we're going to be able to do what we really want to do with our life. And hopefully, a lot of the people that I know that hold XRP, we have plans on actually helping create a better world. We want to give back. We want to do things for people. And Flare is going to be one of the things that helps us. There's so much we could get into about Flare. They have about 6 revolutionary products on their thing. But let's get more into like the fundamentals and the conspiracy behind it. So the reason why I think they put JFK, and keep in mind, I've cut off ever since I started making YouTube videos. I cut off a lot of the content creators I listen to because I want to have a fresh approach. So this is all just my speculation. But anyway, so I believe they put JFK and these people in the commercial as like a FU to them because XRP was originally supposed to do the smart contracts off of Ethereum, I believe. So we're
Mm.
supposed to use the Ethereum computer, and we went our own direction when the White Hats took it over. So I don't know if you've seen this, but they gave $170,000 donation to the Trump admin. This was in like
No, did they?
2018. Yeah, so they
Who
gave
did?
100 Ripple. I
Really?
believe that was when we took it over, or when we were publicly saying, "Hey, look, this is our shit. You guys sign it. You guys are fucked." But
Ripple donated to the Trump admin in like 2016?
170, no, it's 2018 or 19, 170,017 or 17.
What?
So
That's news to my ears. Wow.
yeah, we could pull it up. If you look it up,
Yeah, I'll
it
see if I
pulls
can
right
find
up.
it.
So we cut off Ethereum, and then we had Flare, and that's going to shoot Ethereum in the foot, because we know Ethereum's Chinese based, so we don't want Chinese controlling the new financial system. It has to be
Yes.
America.
Yep.
Flare and XRP are American technology. We always have the best shit. Like, that's just America. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like we're letting China kind of like play their hand. We're patiently holding our royal flush. So that way they get cocky, they go all in. They don't think we have shit. Once
Yep.
they go all in, we drop our royal flush, and then we end the game. You know what I'm saying? That's what I kind of think what's happening. We're playing just, it's so crazy because so many people are stuck in 3D, but we're playing fifth dimensional chess. Most people don't even know what that means.
Yep. I did find one of the articles talking about it. Looks like, yeah, October 2018, Ripple officially introduced to Trump's administration. One of the topics discussed in the interview is Johnson meeting with the members of the Trump admin concerning Ripple and cryptocurrency. When he began to meet with government officials, he had very low expectations. However, he said he's been amazed by the open-mindedness and the smart questions asked by them, which reflected how people in the government have been thoroughly examining crypto and Ripple in particular. White House officials were made aware of the fact that 80% of Bitcoin's mining hash power originates from China. Wow, so it's Ripple who informed the White House that officially. That's actually pretty fascinating. That's really
Yeah, Brad
interesting.
Garlinghouse has been really public about that, and
Yes, that's
people have
that's one
made
of the
fun of
things
him.
that drew me to him initially was uh, his outspokenness against the CCP and China and how we're in a race against China. And even though there were these things that were like smoke screens of them pretending to be on like the NWO side, like the fact that Biden or that like Garlinghouse contributed a few $1,000s to the Biden campaign and things like that. Um, I
It's
feel,
confusing.
yeah, it is, but it's like it has to be on purpose, right? Because if we knew what was going on, then the enemy would know what's going on, and then you don't really have operational security.
Yeah, it's really confusing for people that are like new to conspiracies, because this is a really complex one. It's really deep. And that's why I like it so much. But it's almost like we were talking about it. I think it's a sting off. So Brad is literally probably like a, I don't know, like an NSA agent as well, or some private contractor, and he's the knight that's going in there and infiltrating the system, pretending to be one of them. And what do we know? I think Trump also donated to Hillary Clinton or the Democrats at one point. So it's kind of like
Right.
you have to play within the system until you're ready to make your move, or else you'll shoot yourself in the foot too early. So that's what I think they've been doing. But the
Totally.
Bitcoin and being in China, that's another one of the whole things that kind of made me think about it. Like, I really believe this whole Trump card everybody's talking about has to do with XRP. They're interconnected, Trump and XRP. It's crazy. Why are there lawsuits happening? And Trump just went to the Supreme Court today, same time frame as XRP. Everything's happening at the same time.
Right.
Basically, what I think happened is the way that Trump got like Italy to work with him, these different countries to work with him, Russia to work with him, the soccer ball exchange, is the XRP coin. They were pretty much given a choice. Do you want to have this China-based system, this corporation system with Facebook Libra coin and corporations making their own money, circumventing national currencies like the dollar, like all these people trading the dollar for Bitcoin? You could look at that almost as an economic threat to our nation. Everyone Stop using the
Yes.
dollar, that fucks us over. People don't think of it that way. So he pretty much told these countries, like Brad Garlinghouse probably went to the meetings, like, look, you're either going to use the XRP ledger or say goodbye to controlling your money. Facebook's going to take over with their coin. Apple will probably come out with a coin. Bitcoin will be a global one world coin to rule them all. And they were given a choice, and a lot of them kind of chose, hey, I want to keep my power. I want to keep my country. I don't want to lose power to Facebook. At the end of the day, all these guys have egos. So I believe that's when they cooperated with. It has something to do with it. I don't know. This is just all my own research. I don't know. What do
And
you think about that?
that makes sense to me, and it feels like that was the setup, and like a Brad was put into the position of CEO right around the time that Trump came in. I think it was like end of
Really?
2016. Yeah, like it was like end of 2016, early 2017. Brad was made CEO, and then also around that time period, um, David switched positions. I think he was on the board of directors and then he became CTO. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, but the person that I'm pretty sure he replaced David, but at the very least, a new person came in onto the executive team, and his name escapes me, but he is a speech writer for Trump and also a close friend of Jared Kushner. And
Oh, I know what you're talking
yeah, do
about.
you remember his name? I don't even remember his position. I think
Erzner or something like that.
some.
He was on the board, and then after Trump got removed, he ended up getting kicked out at like 5 a.m. And then Trump actually pardoned him. Ken Kurson, something like
Oh,
that.
that's right. That's right. Oh, and Trump pardoned him.
Yeah,
I
Trump
forgot
pardoned
about
him.
that. That's really
So
interesting.
we had our people on the boards, and then they ended up replacing him for the J.P. Morgan lady, Sandy O'Connor. But
Wow. So do you think that's a war within itself, that they're fighting for control of the various companies, in this case Ripple, and like fighting for who's on the board? Or do you think it's mainly just optics and white hats really are securely controlling what's going on? It's hard to say.
yeah, we're trying to figure it out ourselves because the thing is they're not going to tell us about this. If there was a chance to become the new 1%, are they going to have ads on TV? So it takes people like me and you just having these conversations, trying to figure it out. You're sharing with me some shit, I'm sharing with you. But my thought is it's always been okay, the technology is decentralized. People that say it's owned by someone, they don't know what they're talking about. So it goes either way. But the way that I see it is what was I going to say? A lawsuit from Jay Clayton is actually a gift because that is going to give us clarity, and it's pretty obvious that they don't want to give us clarity. Like they don't want to give us that. Because they're trying to give Ethereum and Bitcoin a huge leg up and advantage. So that shows me that they know that the white hats control this technology and they're trying to get rid of it. Like they're trying to.
Yep.
I don't know, man. It's so deep. I don't know.
Yep. I know, right? It's like,
But the Jay Clayton lawsuit was the Jay Clayton was a Trump guy. The night before his last day, he turned the lawsuit in, and now they have to face Ripple's 21 lawyers, and they have no way out. Like they have to either settle or they have to go to trial. And if they go to trial, they're going to lose. So it's like,
right. So even though people hate Jay Clayton, maybe he was a white hat asset the whole time that was set up to create this scenario to achieve regulatory clarity sooner than later.
yeah, because he kind of like what we're saying, he's been stalling it for so long because I believe we're waiting before we flip the switch for 45 to kind of step back into the picture. We don't want to get if there was already regulatory clarity, then they'll be using the shit for the Green New Deal or whatever. They'll
Mm-hmm.
already be using it. So it's already going for like the everything you're saying with the vetting process and making sure more patriots have an opportunity to get in. So I think that was another part of it. And Flair had something about it March and in their video March April. So we're gonna have a really big spring.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to bring up next is I think that the fact that the Flare network launch is ambiguous. They don't have a particular date, right? They've said quarter 1, quarter 2 sometime of this year, and they were saying that at the end of last year. that seems to line up with the potential implementation of some kind of gold-backed QFS system. Maybe what I'm thinking is that the start of Flare could be perfectly timed with other things going on. And there's a piece of the puzzle that I've found, which is in a couple of 17 posts. Have you seen that 17 mentions Spark 3 times, and twice it's in quotes? So the
I have
first,
seen the 17 is posted about the SEC, but never about
right.
Spark. That's
So
crazy.
yeah, there's both of those, which is really interesting. And I've been meaning to do a video about this. I'll probably do one soon, but we'll talk about it here. So like you're saying, there's a couple posts. I think I actually referenced this in my last video, maybe, that the SEC posts are right around the 22nd date. It's like the day before. It's like February 21st and then February 23rd are the SEC test posts, right? And then when you look up Spark, you have to look it up with a lowercase s, otherwise it won't show up. But if you look up Spark on the 17 posts, there's 3 posts. 2 of them have it in a quote. The first one is from May 3rd, 2020, and it says, "Never in our history has this been attempted. Patriots worldwide simply needed a, quote, spark to reignite the engine for humanity," and then WWG dot dot dot.
Wow, that's mind blowing.
Isn't that crazy?
That's a huge puzzle piece right there. And yeah, so when you really start to like find out what their plans were, and we have the looking glass, so we know what they're going to do next. That's how we've been. I think if you watch our roundtable, we were saying how probably this germ that's flowing around was probably supposed to be a lot worse, and through the looking glass, we knew ahead of time, so we made it a lot less damaging. Same thing with this. So, like, it was gonna be really bad, man. Like, it was gonna be like, imagine everybody's bank account going to zero, millionaires being broke. Like, we're gonna go through some starvation, famine, plagues, like crazy shit. We're already seeing all this shit happening in Texas.
Right. That's what
Things
I
were
was going to
gonna get
say.
bad. Things were gonna get bad. I believed XRP on-demand liquidity, and then Spark is a spark that is going to with what you just said. But on-demand liquidity is going to reignite the engine, just like 17 just said, get everything going, and then we're going to enter the golden age. And we'll be the most prosperous country in the world because we have the gold. We have all the gold. Gold ends the Fed. And
Right.
that's where people haven't connected the dots really yet, where people like me and you, deep divers, I watch the gold community. I watch the 17 community. I watch the crypto community. No one has connected them all together yet. Gold people think they're right. Crypto people think they're right. 17 people talk about the quantum system. They never talk about XRP. They never
Right.
talk about XLM.
They think it's just gold. They think crypto is like the devil or something. It's so funny.
And most of the crypto is.
Right.
However, we need to uh, bring back the gold standard in a modern, futuristic way. That's why we always have Back to the Future. We're going back to the future. That's why they always have the Marty McFly symbology in the flare shit.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to be able to send the value of gold at the speed of light cross borders uh, for this new system. And if you know the only two projects, some of the projects working on that, if you go to the Stellar website, they literally show you gold on their website converting from USD to gold. It's right there. Like David Schwartz says, I've hidden everything in plain sight. Those people drank too much fluoride. They're not keeping up with their health, so they can't make these connections, and they can't, or they're just playing out asleep. So when you show them this, it doesn't connect for them because they haven't. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah. No, it's yeah. It takes like a certain level of awareness or at least interest in multiple fields of study to really connect all the dots. So, but
And
that's why we're
speaking
here.
on that, what you're saying, I kind of coined this term. I don't know if you could tell me if you heard someone else say this, but a lot of times I'm having these chats like this with you, and I just come up with ideas because I want to explain it. This technology is really advanced, so we have to explain it in layman's terms. So I said XRP is fifth dimensional technology. That's why a lot of people in 3D, they think it's BS. They can't comprehend it because they're stuck in 3D. So like, what is 5D? I'm also really into like psychology, consciousness, things like that. So um, a lot of people, if we could talk about this, it's okay.
Yeah,
A lot of
definitely.
people are stuck in this. I did a research into this psychologist named, I think it's a psychologist named Claire Graves, who talked about like the evolution of our conscious and how there's different stages that people go through. So a lot of America, a lot of the world is stuck in a consciousness. Let's just label it level 4. But level 4 is very system like, and you get stuck in these binds. Like, I can only be a happy wife and I can't have a career, or I could be physically fit, but then I can't have fun, or it's like this or that thinking. Those are really bad examples. It's like I could either be a millionaire or I could be a spiritual. I can't be both. I can't
Right.
be a millionaire and spiritual. So we get ourselves stuck in these binds and it causes a lot of problems. I'm also a full-time coach, so I have to know about this stuff to help people um, kind of overcome their stuff to get to the next level. So when you evolve up the chain, like millionaires, the way they think is I could be a millionaire and be spiritual. I could have money and give back. I could be a happy wife. I could be a wife and support a family and have a career. Like you could do this and that. So the problem with the dollar is only the dollar. That's back in that ancient time of this or that. So the dollar is the dollar. You could exchange it for something else. XRP is fifth dimensional because it could be anything. It's beyond our awareness. It could be gold. It could be silver. It could be Chinese money. It could be U.S. money, pesos, and it's whatever you want it to be. It's this and this and this and this and this, not this or that. So it's fifth dimensional, and that's why so many people that are stuck in the 3D can't even comprehend how this is valuable, how this is going to be used in the future, and things like that. So
I couldn't
we're
agree
we
more.
yeah. I went on a rant, but you could piggyback or
I the only kind of piggyback I have on top of that is like DeFi, and how DeFi in particular with crypto I think is going to be that like 5D like space. And for I haven't talked too much about DeFi on here, so people might not be familiar, but DeFi is decentralized finance, and it's a particular kind of crypto network which Ethereum essentially pioneered, and Flare networks are revamping and doing better. But essentially, it means that the actual finances and the network itself is distributed and not managed by any centralized components. And so you can have like an exchange that's totally run peer to peer and no company is running it and all that. And I think that and like Flare and what we were talking about earlier is like totally this 5D next level of taking, people are, a lot of people are afraid to make the jump from where they think we're at right now with the level of currency and the system that we have to like this digital currency. But most people aren't, the people that are afraid of that don't really realize that we're already using digital currency primarily in the form of like bank accounts and PayPal and these other things. Like, how many people actually carry around cash, let alone heavy metals anymore? And so it's just
yeah.
about taking the already current digital system and then restructuring it and giving it back to the people in a way where it is decentralized, and the governing that is done by the people and for the people. And that's it's like, it's kind of an easy step to do, but it's going to create this whole new level of awareness for us moving into this like energy shift, especially given in context that we likely are, I believe at least, that we're moving through this like energy shift in consciousness. And these kind of systems I think are going to like work really well with that shift. They'll probably change and adapt, but it's like the beginnings of that, I think.
Yeah, man, I know for a fact we're going through a massive shift. December 21st, we shifted to the age of Aquarius, and this isn't just BS. Like, literally, how the astrology. I'm not really into astrology that much, but I know it's important. But the way the planets are in the sky shifted, and it was a really big shift for a lot of people. And we're still going through the process of change and transformation and facing our inner self, things like that. But you mentioned a key point. You mentioned decentralized exchanges. This is why I believe we're actually living in a movie. Not that many people know this, but the ending has already been made, and we have to get to the ending in order for the movie to be finished. So it's like everything. If you read the Nazura list, if you actually read, okay, what is actually part of Nazura, and Nazura is very real. Draining the swamp comes from the guy that wrote Nazura. That wasn't from Trump. Drain the swamp is
Mm.
a monetary. This is what kind of got me going. Like draining the swamp is a monetary term, draining the monetary system.
Mm-hmm.
So if you read the Nazura list, like check by check, you'll be like, holy shit, I could see how like everything's playing out in real time. One of them is you mentioned right now the decentralized exchanges. We have learned how important that is. The sheep just had a wake up call with Robinhood.
Mm-hmm.
So a bunch of people wanted to buy Robinhood. They wanted to buy GameStop. They couldn't. The power that be told them, I'm your big brother. I know what's best for you. Oh, I'm going to tell you you can't do that. It woke up a ton of people. People have been waking up more than ever since March. You've probably seen that. But once you start playing with people's money, that really gets people mad and that gets people awake. So the decentralized exchanges, that was a rollout. Like we're building the narrative for that to come. Number two, you walk into any building, any restaurant, even in drive-throughs, the QR code is everywhere. The QR code, that's what really got me really bullish, like all in on this shit, is when I'm seeing the QR code everywhere. What's the QR code? That's how we're going to exchange. We're going to go to the store or go out to eat. Right now, they're training us. They're training us. Swipe this shit. You can see your menu. Pretty soon, you'll just swipe your phone, and you'll pay your bill. So everything's gonna be off this shit.
That's a
But
great point. Great
you've seen
point.
the QR code everywhere, right? Is that just here in Vegas?
No, yeah, I mean, I here in Sedona we don't have them as much, but definitely when I was in California, I used to see them for like all sorts of things, advertising stuff and rent, yeah, like menus and I didn't even think about that in terms of like kind of prepping us for paying for things digitally like that, but totally, because yeah, that's like. It's funny because I've only really started using the QR things recently because I haven't had an iPhone before. I had an Android, and for some reason mine didn't have the scanner built in, so I never used it. And now that I have the scanner that's just like right there, I have been using it a lot. So it's definitely prepping us for that.
Oh yeah, it's prepping us for it. It's teaching us, getting us used to going to in Vegas and most of these big cities. It's like a standard to be open. So
Yeah.
they're training the older people. Hey, this is how you're going to be using shit in the future. And the really sad thing is what's happening and like what's like how I know this digital revolution is coming even more. Okay, so this germ that was released, it's most deadly to the older population, right? If we're entering a digital revolution, who is going to most oppose this digital revolution? The older people. So there was an assault on the older population, and luckily, I think we did a great job at preventing what was supposed to happen. But yeah, so that's part of the whole digital revolution is like there's going to be changes, and that's why people like me and you we have to know this shit to help. I got my grandma on this shit, older people on
Nice.
this shit, because they're going to need help. They're going to be guided through these changes. They're going to be big changes. But I
Dude,
believe Trump's got a plan. A lot of people are freaked out for this whole crash, but what people don't know is if everything happens the way we think it's going to happen, like everything's going to be redistributed back to the people, and there's going to be a level playing field again. And we have to go through these dark things in order to, like, we're awake, but most people aren't. So like, if there is a stock market crash, like a big like bank holiday, and people will be forced to really just sit back and that's what 17 said, the precipice. That would be the precipice. Like
mm-hmm. Yep.
that's that's that.
And they also said the end isn't for everybody. They said that a lot.
Well, how many people have you known that have given up? I know so many people that have given up and lost hope. And that's part of the whole thing that we've been talking about, the vetting. Like who is going to be standing strong at the end of all this? And
Yeah,
those are the people that are going to have that be the new 1%. Aren't those the people you're going to want? Aren't these the type of people you want to be the new 1%? Like,
exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. And it literally feels like I took all my knowledge from like what I learned and gathered with 17, and it's like literally placing our bet on that timeline and our money in that, which is a really interesting concept because it's like almost spirit rewarding us in a way. Like, I mean, that is what we've been saying. It's this reward. It's this benefit for having this faith and following this. That's, yeah, really interesting.
I think it's 3T. I don't know if you watch 3T, but he's a
No.
pretty. I'm connected with him somehow through this one guy called Come Out Better. But 3T, I always give credit. He coined the term like we're divinely guided to this shit. That's the only way I could explain it.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. Well, before we wrap up here, I wanted to hit Myanmar and Texas and kind of get your thoughts on uh, what's going on there and how it could relate. I mean, I know we touched on this a little bit, but if we want to dive into it a little more, we can. Like, yeah, everything that's going on with the central banks and the military over there and how that could affect us and this whole crypto space over here.
Yeah, so it's just not Myanmar. So we've been told to prepare for blackouts. They've been happening all over the place. Pakistan had a blackout, I think, and then the next day they release a
That's right.
um, instant payment system. And that's also what I was kind of thinking too is okay, so like all these blackouts, if we're going to switch to a new internet, a new decentralized thing, like what do we need to shut down like the internet? So I've always thought like, because it says if the lights go out, patriots are in control. So it's not a bad thing. That's what people don't get. Like the lights go out, we're probably switching to the new QFS.
Yep.
We've seen blackouts happen all the time. We've warned people, and it's getting more and more serious. So Myanmar, let's start there. Myanmar is a corrupt base, like in Star Wars, the Empire control Myanmar, and there's opium fields. They get heroin from there. I think they even had fentanyl there. Don't quote that, but I know for sure there's heroin and opium coming from there. And what happened was just like we've been saying what's going to happen here, military because took back power. Military took control of Myanmar, and they said they will give power to. They're going to host a brand new election. Like I said, we're watching a movie in Missouri. It said there has to be a new election, monitored, highly monitored, and they're doing that in Myanmar. So they're having a new election. They're going to give the power to the winner. I believe the new election that will happen here in the States will be on the blockchain, and it's going to be known as like a great savior. The blockchain saved the election and also saved the financial system. But they also kicked out the central bankers. But this isn't like if you're not prepared, this is a real big like this is a massive shift. People that aren't prepared there, food at the grocery markets are completely out, electricity is out. Uh, People are really in serious situations there. You can't get money out of the banks because the electricity is out, so people have no money, and there's a lot of chaos. Um, they kicked the central bankers out, which is the big key. If we kick the central bankers out, how are we going to continue having a monetary system? XRP, it's a level playing field. How does that relate to here? That's what I believe. Why the DC is all pretty much a prison. DC is controlled by the military, so like that's what's to come. It's just not the right time. The sting operation isn't complete. A lot of these people, I think, already arrested and they're playing a role, and
Agreed.
it's because we got to get the lower level people. The top people are done; they're eliminated. But we have the illusion they're still in control, so these minions can still we could catch the minions and we could see how everything's operating. So it's going to happen here. Texas is another people. The people that have been conspiracy theorists that bought generators, that have food stocked up, that are all prepared. They're doing a lot better than the people that are in the frozen cold 10 degrees. Nobody deserves that. But we've been warning people a long time about what's to come. So we're kind of like the boy that cried wolf, and they warn the people about the wolf over and over again, and then they're like, whatever, these are crazy people, but it's happening. A big thing that I noticed about Texas was when they cut the power out, it wasn't the narrative they were telling us. So the video of the silver guy I follow, he drove in the power was still on at the banks. So JP Morgan's power was lit up. A few other banks' power were lit up. The banks were able to keep their parking garages power on while children, people died, people froze to death. And that's crimes against humanity. So there was more power than they're telling you, and it's a giant scam.
That's crazy,
I
man.
think it's literally an attack on the older gener. Who's going to suffer the most through freezing temperatures after wearing a mask for the past year? The older generation. That's not good for them. That's going to be serious health
Yep.
effects.
Yep.
So I don't know. Like I haven't been doing too much. I don't really know everything that's happening there. I just know that uh, before we reach the best is yet to come, there's going to be some tribulations. There's going to be some challenges, and the best thing we could do is be prepared and share this information. And
Yep.
anyway, that's why they're censoring us. That's why they're banning our accounts, because they don't want people to be prepared. They don't want people to be cozy through this. I know for one thing, if my power goes out, I'm gonna be freaking chilling, excited as hell, because I believe at the other end of that power outage, it's gonna be an XRP moon.
Plus, it doesn't
So
get too cold out there, right?
yeah, I said, dude, I'm never moving to somewhere that can freeze ever in my life.
Same.
I want to
It's
move to Florida, actually.
yeah, dude. Florida and Hawaii have been calling me that the tropical area. This being here in northern Arizona is the coldest I've ever lived. I was in Southern California, and my wife was from Canada, and so she's like super familiar with the cold. And I'm like, why would anybody want to live in a place where it gets below freezing for weeks at a time? But I guess people don't move to Texas for that reason. They moved there to avoid that, and then it followed them there anyway. You know, I
Oh, God.
oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I would say, let me add one more thing about Texas. So, what is the narrative right now? Energy crisis, too much energy. It's all a narrative. It's not real. Um, they have this whole narrative about the energy and blah blah blah. What is the most energy efficient technology for payments? XRP. What is causing way too much electricity? Bitcoin. Every single mainstream news we see somehow is connecting to XRP and 17. So that's another key thing about the whole narrative about energy crises happening is good and bullish for XRP. So I want to add that one statement.
Yeah. And bullish for like free energy technology, which hopefully that's going to be a part of this. That's what I think. I think that blockchain is really going to be the building blocks for a lot of this new technology infrastructure that's going to be coming in too to solve a lot of the other problems like the energy sector. And one thing I just remembered about Texas, I saw somebody made a post today in one of the Telegram groups that Biden had actually made it in one of his executive orders that he signed in the first couple days. There was a part of that executive order where it said that they were essentially shutting down the security for the grid in. They didn't say Texas, but they gave a region that I guess that area is in, and they said they would be turning off the security essentially. And other people were pointing out how a lot of the energy hardware in that area and around the country is actually owned by China. And it seemed like it was a direct allowed like cyber attack basically on the power grid.
Well, man, that's totally believe that, and doesn't surprise me. I think he gave over a lot of our power grid to China too. But here's something I don't know if you know about this coin, but I'll give your audience a dig to look into after what you just said about the grid and cybersecurity. So, hacking is a big thing happening right now. Tons of people. No one is too big to hide from hackers. Like central banks are even getting hacked. So when we see all these narratives happening, how can we profit? How can we set ourselves up? The military has actively tested with HBAR, Hedera Hashgraph. It's actually not a blockchain technology. It's a new technology, but it's a crypto. And they've tested cybersecurity on the grid, exactly what you're talking about, using HBAR, and it's super, like no one could hack HBAR. So
Wow.
HBAR is probably going to be used after all this to secure our grid, secure cybersecurity, and it's going to be used for a lot of other things. It is a coin that was chosen by the World Economic Forum, so it does have some big partners, and it's partnered with Google, IBM, big things. But the military has a document where they've used HBAR to test securing our grid. So if we would have had H bar, no way they would have been able to hack our shit. No way.
That's really interesting. I saw you talk about HBAR on one of your videos, and I've been following it ever since. And it's funny because you bring up all these great coins and these great projects, and it makes me sort of frustrated because I'm like, oh, now do I invest in one of these or do I invest in XRP? And I just go back and forth because, the whole, uh, uh, what's the word? Not decentralized, spreading your portfolio out. What's the D
Yeah,
word?
yeah. I mean, you don't have to be diversified. There's all these cool projects,
Diversify.
but I believe you just with XRP, you're going to be good. Like I said, I've transitioned to a new phase where I'm exploring these other things, and
Yeah.
I'm all in on XRP. But I do have the smaller bags and these other coins just to because my whole you got to have a strategy. Like
Yeah.
let's go into like mindset. You got to have a strategy. Like what you have all these XRP for what purpose? Ask your, what purpose do I have these XRP? Like is it to get a Lamborghini? Is it to have generational wealth? You set up a plan. My plan with XRP, I'm never selling one XRP.
Same.
Maybe I have like a little bit of XRP in my uphold. I have like 6,000 on my uphold. I'll probably maybe play around with that. But everything in my ledger, I'm not going to touch it. So that's why that I reached my accumulation goal. I put it away. Okay, that's done. And I'm hoping to like with H bar, other things like I'm going to flip those, and so that's my strategy going into it. Like with XDC. That's my play one. If that hits, like I'm gonna have some fun with that project. So different bags have different purposes. Have a strategy for each one, and I think that's what I do. I mean, you guys should look up other investors, see what they do for their. But I firmly believe if you believe in something, just go all in on it because when it does moon, you're gonna be like, man, why did I have all my money diversified and all this other shit when I knew for a fact XRP was gonna be what I thought it was. And every
Right.
time when XRP goes on that run, when it goes to 60 cents, what's the first thing I tell myself? Fuck, man, I wish I would have had more. That kind of like FOMO. I wish I would have had more. So, so that's what you got to think about. Like when XRP does go to 500, are you gonna want more, or are you gonna want some? I have some Zillicut, but I want to get rid of it. Like it's a good project, but I think more XRP is better.
Yep. Well said. I like that. Well,
Any other key topics you want to bring up or anything else?
I think I hit everything that I wanted to mention on my list. Let's see. Oh, the one other thing I put on here is the Valjester lock that I heard you bring him up in one of your shows, and he was someone that he's actually I think who got me into Mr. Pool in the first place. I somehow stumbled upon his channel, and he's a Twitter page that does a lot of these gematria numerical decodes. It's
Yeah.
Val Jester Lock if any of you guys want to look it up, and he's really good with the numbers and the gematria and figuring out the connections and things that are maybe not even intentional with posts, but like more spiritually, like the patterns that show up in the matrix of how things are playing out, and it's just really fascinating stuff.
Yeah, I think somebody commented on one of my videos saying that Val was actually a girl. It's Valerie, probably. I don't know, but someone said it was actually a girl. So it's a
I've
she,
seen
I
him
think.
post a picture of himself though.
Oh, it's a dude.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a dude.
Oh, somebody
Yeah.
commented on my video saying, "Hey, that's actually okay." Well, it's a dude.
Oh well, maybe what I saw was, I mean, it was from him, but who knows? That doesn't mean it wasn't a woman. It was
Yeah,
hard.
he. I think Bearable guy actually followed him at one point. So like he's a
Right.
really good researcher. I've been looking at him really into the numbers, and he's connected. He's really big on the gold standard. He has tons of. If you want to kind of find out about the connections to the gold standard, he's big on it, and he's big on X. He's a XRP maximalist like me. Like he believes it's the future, and a lot of our research is really showing that. So Val Jester. There's a whole community of really good people on Twitter to follow for this stuff, and they take it way beyond XRP, just like us. They connect it to everything.
Yeah, I'm sad
So
that I'm
it's
not on Twitter anymore because there was a lot of really good stuff on there from that community of people.
yeah, I got banned from Twitter too, so it's just it sucks. That's why I'm so excited for us to enter this new age of decentralization and freedom again. And I mean, when you really think about decentralization, that's the opposite of central. So central banks. I posted this I think the other day. like central banks. What's the opposite of that? Decentralized banks.
Mm-hmm.
It's all in the language, like with numbers and language. It's all there, like the language, and there's so many videos of people talking about like in code, like the gold standard Trump talks about, the Andrew Jackson painting is behind him, how his whole life people said everything Trump touches turns to gold. He takes he goes to the bathroom on a golden toilet. So it's kind of like it's insane how I don't know if it's all been planned out or what. I just know what's going to happen. It's crazy.
Yeah. Nice. Well, thanks for
Yeah,
coming.
my computer's on 5%, so I'm gonna lose you soon.
Oh, okay. Well, let's wrap it up then. Thanks for coming on the show, man. Do you wanna? Well, I'll put your YouTube down below so people can find it, and whatever other social medias that you want, I'll get them from you and stick them down below. And is there anything that you want to plug or discuss real quick before about your channel or your work before we head out?
Well, yeah, I'm currently banned from basically every single social media platform. So I made this YouTube, and I think I have a TikTok, but mainly just gonna be on YouTube. So if you like some of the things I talk about XRP, crypto, spirituality, consciousness, personal development, mainly just about investing. But yeah, please support my channel. I've been around for a month. We hit 1,000 followers, so we have a lot of cool things planned. If on Sunday we're having a big roundtable, we'll probably have uh, Cosmic Origins on eventually on one of the Sundays. So we just kind of have a chat like this, but with a whole group, so we can all give our perspectives on what's happening and try to find the greater truth through like a mastermind. So that's going to be pretty cool. We're going to do a lot of cool things. But other than that, whatever happens, uh, they don't want you to own XRP. Who are they? The media, the powers that be. So whatever happens, make sure you do enough research. Don't invest because of anything that me or Cosmic Origin say on this channel, because if there is a shakeout event when XRP drops to 10 cents or less, will you have enough confidence to hold through the storm? So it's not a get rich quick scheme, but I believe this coin is going to create the new 1%. So it's not going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it at the end. So just like when all of us are celebrating, partying, when Nazar is activated, the QFS activated, Trump's the president again, we're all going to be celebrating, happy. So we have to hold that picture of the end outcome we want to keep moving through these dark periods where we're kind of like unsure. So the key to having faith is having faith when I don't even. It's like a quote. The key to having faith is when no one else believes, or it doesn't look like it's possible. That's when faith really matters. So keep the faith alive. Know that God wins, and if God wins, then we have nothing to worry about because we're all children of God and we're going to be protected. 17 says it many times. But yeah, I just do a lot of rants, but thank you, man, for having me on. I really appreciate this platform with all the censorship I'm going through. Like, you don't understand how much I appreciate you giving me this opportunity. And I think you said I'm the first guest, so that's even a better honor, man.
Yeah, dude. As soon as I saw your channel, I was like, I need to have this guy on, and I'd been meaning to start getting more people on my channel too. So I'm honored to have you on.
Yeah, if you want to do this more often, we could do it anytime too. So chill
Definitely,
about it.
definitely, and yeah, I'd love to be a part of one of the roundtables in the future. And
Well,
for
I'll probably see you in Sedona sometime. I'll be out there
yeah,
soon.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, let me know. Let me know when you're out here.
You gotta take me to like the secret hikes
Yeah,
because
well,
there's some secret hikes there. I know, like the birthing cave. I went one time.
oh, you know the birthing cave? Nice.
Dude, I almost got lost out there in the middle of the night trying to find my way back. But yeah, I found it.
No, that's one of my favorite spots. I usually take people there, so that's pretty synchronistic.
See what I'm talking about, man? This is the crazy shit that
Yeah.
the fact that people are finding my YouTube page is just mind blowing to me.
Yeah, I know you said that tons of people were finding it in weird synchronistic ways, and it was like the same thing. Someone put it in a Telegram group, and I saw the thumbnail and the title, and I almost passed it up, but something called me to click on it, and then ended up binging on your channel, and here we are.
Cool.
It's all divine.
Well, I appreciate you, man. I'll let you go though. My computer's about to die. So
All right,
yeah,
brother.
peace, bro. Thank you
Peace
so
out,
much.
man.